Hey, welcome to today's discussion and welcome to my glorious tree throne. This is one of our beloved trees in the yard. The kids love to play like hide and seek and house here. And to me, it's like a big giant throne. I just love it. And I was like, I'm going to do a video at the throne. And what better day than our video on sacred living? So, sacred living is really inspired by ancient Zen practices. A lot of people were feeling like their lives were redundant. They were doing the same things over and over again. And they wanted to feel bliss, feel euphoric, happiness, even though their lives were filled with what felt like the mundane. And to me, I really aligned with this idea of trying to make the mundane extraordinary or the ordinary extraordinary, because I just think that life's not about filling it up with fluff and stuff. It's about, enjoying the moments and where you're at with what you have and that kind of thing. So I really resonated with Zen. And so I spent a long time studying it and an even longer time theorizing how to use it in my own life. And then not until recently did I ever really put it into practice. And all I can say is, wow, like this is not some far off frou-frou idealism. This is real techniques you can use in your everyday life. And the bare bones about it is just connecting to breath while you do your normal things. Like, for instance, a lot of us understand that feeling of like doing the dishes and tidying up the house and cleaning the floor, and it feels like nothing ever gets done. Like, you turn around and there's more stuff on the ground, or clothes or toys or dishes again, and like as soon as you're done with the laundry, there's a basket of laundry. And it just feels like you wake up to the same thing again and again and again. It's like, when is this ever going to stop? Well, that's just it, is that life is a lot of percent maintenance. And it doesn't stop unless you want to just become a part of like the throwaway generation where we just throw everything away and keep buying new. And to me, it's just, that's too fruitless to me, like to just throw stuff away. So I just feel like we should work with what we have and that kind of mentality. And it really has made the Zen practices necessary, because when you spend your day just doing dishes, like, where can you gain excitement and euphoria from that? And really the truth is that you can feel euphoria, you can feel ecstasy in any moment at any time if you're connected enough. And that's what it's all about, is connecting. So these are just, like, for me, a few very simple things that I do in a day normally, but when you do it with an awareness, it changes the whole experience. It takes it from ordinary to like sacred, or like some people would say ritualistic. If ritual is a scary word for you, then just stick to sacred. If you're comfortable with the idea of ritualistic living, then that's another way to look at it, is just creating a ritual out of everything. And instead of it just being some thoughtless process, you're like fully engaged and in the moment, and it just does something to you because it connects you to what is. So first thing I suggest, if you want to begin sacred living, is to get out a piece of paper. If you have like a little handy dandy notebook, get that, and you're gonna write morning, afternoon, evening, and give yourself a couple like spaces for each one. And then you list out things that you do during those time that really make you feel like you're doing some self-care, you're being aware. For me, in the morning times, if I wash my face with freezing cold water, it feels so good. Like, it's like a high. There's this natural high, and it just feels really fresh on my face. It makes my skin feel super good too. So doing that morning cold rinse is a super high vibrational thing for me to do for myself. And with awareness and connection and feeling the sensations and thinking about being connected to the experience instead of just, getting water in my face and moving on, but actually being there, it really just does something to you. I also included drinking spring water and moon water. I think that fresh spring water, especially if you can locally source your spring water, is incredible, super good for you. And moon water is when you put your fresh, clean water out during a full moon and let the light of the full moon get on it. There's just like an energetic thing about it, and it tastes like most pure water I have ever drank. And I know what it's from, you know, that I had set it out in the moon, and it just does something. It makes me feel like it's like a ritual or like a sacred experience to drink that water. In the mornings, I also like to make herbal tea. If you know me, you know I love Sweet and Spicy by Good Earth. It's like cinnamon based, and I really love burns, like hot sauce and peppermint, and cinnamon's another one. And I just couldn't love that tea more. You don't need sugar with it. It's the best. Not like trying to sell them to you or anything, but for me, I love that burn sensation, and I just really connect in that moment and have my tea in a ritualistic way. I pour it from fresh, pure water. I take the time to watch it boil. I set each tea bag in while I read the little quote that's on the back of the little paper, and just spend the moment there, because the moment's there regardless of if I'm tuned in or not. But when I tune into it, now I'm like a part of an experience. And any experience can be like a life altering experience. And we just don't really put value to these basic things we do. We almost go through them on robot or autopilot. And what I'm suggesting to you is to try doing these with an awareness, a deep awareness as much as you can, and just see what experience comes out of it. Because for me, it has just really been an amazing way to spend some of these normal moments. When I sweep my home, it's the same thing. I always sweep the house with the broom. But when I think about clean sweeping my home with an awareness and open mentality to getting, you know, not only the dust and the dog hair and the dirt, the happy camp dirt everywhere, but also, you know, any old energy, and just really sweeping the home clean. And it becomes an experience. And I do the same thing whenever I would, and I guess this is where it came from too, is whenever I would sweep the floor to start yoga class, it became this sort of act of service, and I really enjoyed like cleansing, sweeping the floor first, and like making this fresh space for us to practice. And I could just feel that, and it just sort of became a thing at the house. Air purifying. So if you're into burning sage or burning Palo Santo, or if you have another method, even just, you know, opening up all the windows and that kind of thing, just to create a purification of your home with intention, and then just see what that does for the way you feel about your home and yourself. And it's just a very cleansing experience. Okay, for afternoons, that's when more food comes in, you know, like lunchtime and stuff. And that's another time that you can either, you know, autopilot, grab something to eat and not think about one thing about what you're eating, or you can spend the time to really delve into your meal. And Zen practices really into this kind of experience to make like a ritual out of food times or drinking tea times. And we can do that too. And, you know, it's just more of a more thoughtfulness about what you're doing, instead of just mowing down on some food and getting back to your day, which is how I've kind of always ate, to really opening your eyes, your senses, taking the time, masticating with your teeth in a long and, you know, drawn out way on purpose, because you're like helping your body to do the first step of processing the food and just becoming a part of the experience, instead of just letting your body do it for you. Your mind and energy goes there too. At this point, if you don't shower in the mornings, you know, if you shower in the morning, that's another thing. Showers are a huge, wonderful way to experience presence, instead of just cleansing yourself, like really feeling yourself, you know, shampooing and conditioning your hair, letting the conditioner go through your hair, spending the time to fully saturate, scrubbing, exfoliating, cleansing, letting ice cold water pour over you, which is something that I really like to do at the end of the showers, is to turn it on really cold and just let it pour all over. There's something that is just like very sacred about ice water. And, you know, that's another thing you can do outdoors too, is like jumping into a cold creek or something. But yoga, stretching, doing stretches like that, instead of just, you know, saying, okay, I got 30 minutes, I better do some fitness, like really tuning into it. even if all you do is some simple floor work exercises, I guarantee you're gonna have a deeper experience that is probably way better for your body than trying to go on a jog and just like get it done and you're not caring. Now, and jogging can be a sacred experience too. If you're connecting to your breath, if you're in the moment, if you're not just trying to get done with it, but are getting into it, especially if you go outdoors, if you are, really taking in the view of nature around you and experiencing in that way, it's a whole nother ball game. And then, nature connect is a big one for me in the afternoons. Another thing you can do is just going outside and panoramic viewing a scene, like the skyline, or at nighttime, the stars, or just anywhere that you can see like a big open scene of nature, and letting your eyes just really just take it all in and absorb this view from a panoramic lens, because we spend so much of our day looking into things, like especially like on a screen on a phone or on your laptop. You have this like zoom in view with your eyes, and then you have that open spatial panoramic view. Well, the zoomed in one is good for focusing, but at the same time it really leads to like sort of a tension, especially in your head and eyes, of you like focusing in and not just letting your eyes relax open and aware and outward. So taking the time, even if it's for like 5 minutes, and giving yourself that panoramic view and letting your eyes relax like that, it can change your whole day. Like it can take you from feeling like you're overstressed right after lunch to I've got a whole nother round in me to go. I highly recommend doing the nature viewing. In the evenings, I love doing smoothies like around 5 or something, so they can get like a boost of a lot of just raw fruit. I like blueberries and, squeezed juice, or if you can't get that right then whatever kind of juice you have available, any kind of whole food to add into that. A lot of people like putting in greens, and that's really super good way to do it too. Strawberries, any kind of berries, any kind of tropical is really good, and just giving yourself that flush of pure raw fruit and food is so helpful to your body to keep restoring throughout the day. Because I talked about this in another video too, that a lot of us, we think of our day as like this energy. You start and you got this allotted amount, and we usually surpass it before, if at least by lunchtime, and like we're just like trying to get through the rest of the day from there. But really what you can do is simple techniques to help yourself re-up that energy store and fill it up again. And whole foods, top number one thing you can do. Anyway, like if you just like to eat fruit, you aren't into the whole smoothie thing, just eating some fresh berries or whatever is in season in your area, or whatever you can get your hands on that's closest to nature and closest to the real thing and as clean as possible, it's gonna really give you a lot for that little burst, In the evenings too, for me, I love to take a gratitude meditation, just to sit and to be grateful for my life and my day and that kind of thing. And if you're into prayer, an amazing time to do it in the evenings. I've been trying to do it with my kids before bed, because I want them to also recognize that connection. And if you don't understand meditation but you've prayed, then you do understand meditation. Do you know that feeling when you get into a deep prayer and you're just like, there's like a buzzing feeling to it? That is meditation. So anyway, that's my video for today. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I look forward to talking more about this specific topic. This is probably my favorite topic to talk about, besides doing yoga, is about just connecting and experiencing good.